everyone. I'm Ada from Poison Rock, and today we have a new band, Run Home Jack from North Carolina. And first of all, guys, I want to ask to introduce to each one of you.
Who wants to go first?
Maybe the guy who started talking first.
I'll go. My name is Harry, and I am the drummer in the band.
I'm Jersey. I'm the guitar player and vocalist in the band.
I'm Wes. I am the bass player.
And I'm Will. I am the newest addition playing guitar.
Okay, the goals right now. Okay, so I want to start with the first question, which is, of course, the most common one. So how Run Home Jack started from the beginning?
Jersey, take this one.
Yeah. Run Home Jack started as like a passion project mostly. My previous band had kind of broken up and stopped playing, so I had taken some time to myself and started writing a bunch of softer music than what I was used to on acoustic guitar. Met some friends that had a studio, took those songs to the studio and kind of turned them into like a full band production. Maggie wanted to say hello. And that became the first 3 songs. Tried a few different rotations of people in the band, and nobody was really sticking until we met Harry. Harry's definitely the longest lasting member. Been my ride or die drummer pretty much since he stepped foot in the band. And after him, just honestly kept rolling and rolling. Wrote the second EP, found new guys, and now we're here with the newest release, which came out just a few days ago. So.
Yeah. And of course, before us, of course, speaking about Good Grief, the new album, I wanted to ask about, of course, the meaning of the name, because there is a girl, which is, I guess, because I was saying to Harry that this girl is from Scotland. I don't know. You have a fan in Scotland. She was asking me to make you this question about the name, because she said, I'm a huge fan, and can you interview them and please ask them what the meaning of the name?
Okay, the band name or the album name?
No, the band.
Okay, so the band name is actually a reference to my favorite movie. It's the movie Hook, the Robin Williams movie about Peter Pan. There's a scene when the pirates have built a baseball diamond on the pirate ship for his son Jack to play baseball with, and the cheerleaders have signs. They're trying to say "Home Run Jack," but they have it backwards, and they start chanting "Run Home Jack." And I was at home with my family for the holidays, and that's all of one of our favorite movies. We were watching it together, and that scene happened. And I've been writing these songs with these people, and I needed a band name anyways. And I literally heard it, and everything just clicked in my head. I was like, "That's the band name. That's it."
That's the band name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know the name of this girl, but I think I hope she will be happy about it. And of course, now we're going to speak about the last release, Good Grief, because I listen a little bit, in my opinion, it's a kind of concept album. Because it's really deep, of course. So maybe we should start speaking about the composition, so the work, like more the technical part, like the lyrics composition and all of this, and then we go speaking a little bit about the lyrics and the meanings of the topic mainly. Yeah. So I don't know who wants to answer. I leave you free to speak.
Yeah, I mean, anybody's free to chime in on any of this, especially with the music stuff. But I know, at least from the standpoint of the music itself, so we wanted to do 5 songs modeling the 5 stages of grief.
Okay. So
with the first song, being denial, the second song being anger, and we kind of wanted to take it a little further than that. When it was just, we didn't want these songs to be about those things. We wanted them to feel like those things. And the first song is just like a good rock and roll, like driving on the interstate going 60, like hearts pumping. That's denial, like nobody's gonna tell me what happens to me, and yada yada yada. The second song is heavy. It's got a lot of screaming in it, and the breakdown in the end, that's anger, and so on. So sonically, we wanted to make the album very, very in line with what we were trying to say lyrically, to try and help get that point across. And even into the photo shoots we did and the artwork we did, we assigned each color to different emotions. Different colors will convey different feelings. So in photo shoots, we had like colored chalk that we were throwing up for each of the 5 members to represent each of the 5 stages. And the artwork for the album itself has gradient filters of the colors on all of those, just to tie it all together as much as we possibly could. And that's not even to mention all the Easter eggs that we threw into the music videos that we did. So that's, at least for the music part, that's where everything came together.
Well, if I could just jump in real quick, and Jersey can correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were writing these songs, I don't know if you had the idea prior to, but it seemed like we wrote the first 3 kind of back to back, and then and just the way that they came out, and one was really heavy, one was not quite as heavy, and one was more ambient and that kind of thing. And then I feel like that in itself kind of helped shape the idea of let's make a 5-song with different stages, sonically, lyrically. It's just the way that those first 3 songs unfolded while we were writing them kind of helped come up with that idea and kind of push it in that direction.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I've been a huge fan of just concept albums in general, and so I knew that I wanted to do one. I just didn't know what it was going to be about or how long it was going to be. And just like Harry said, these first 3 songs all definitely stood out on their own, and everything just kind of clicked. I was like, let's do a 5-song. There's 5 stages. We can assign these songs to these stages, and everything just fell into place too perfect, honestly.
But if you have, for example, to just, of course, it's being a concept album, you can pick a song but if you speaking about not like with the meaning of the song, but with, for example, with the sound, which song you think, for example, someone could listen first that you feel more close to you? I don't know, just for example, I'm new, I'm wanted to listen Good Grief, so I'm gonna listen to this song. What will?
So I would say that's kind of a tough one, only because all the songs are so different sonically. They all fit a similar vibe. If you want an overall, like, general vibe for the album, I would say the title track, Good Grief. But also, I feel like New Devils, Same Demons is a really good starting point for a lot of people. That one is kind of the darker, further turning point in the story, but it's also a lot more relevant in that song that it is part of the story. So that has kind of made a few people, I know personally at least, go back and listen to the other songs and see how they all tie into that, and kind of spark their interest into the whole story and the concept behind it.
And I just wanted to add to that, trying to pick the song for someone, I think it would be more of a retort in the sense of being like, all right, well, how are you feeling right now? Because
exactly.
Every song's dynamic range as far as like a feeling is drastically different to where it's like, I mean, like if you're in a good mood and that it's like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, go listen to New Devils, and it's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah.
It would really, if someone needed an opinion, I would follow it up with like, all right, if you're feeling, if you got a little angst going with it, like Second Opinion. If you're feeling very uplifted, Terminal would be a good one. Like the feeling for it all is just, like I said, dynamically different, even though they're similar sonically.
Yeah, it's the same band, just going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, but from the previous work, so from the previous album release, what do you think is changed in the sound? This question can be answered from each one of you, of course. Mainly, I guess, from the older members. So what's changed? I mean, from the beginning till now, as well, like in the composition of the music, because of course I think your group as well. But if you have to really think about it, like with your days of today, when you started, like when you start. So what has changed?
I definitely have a few things, but I'll let Harry say his first just because I've been talking a lot. So.
Well, I mean, not necessarily the sound in itself, but the writing process. It is now a team effort, and this isn't a slight to the early days, but Jersey's passion project. It was Jersey writing the songs with the two producers that were helping him formulate those songs, and that's great. But now we have the full band, and as time has progressed, everybody is getting their input in even prior to going to the studio. So we can bounce ideas around, and everybody has different influences, which also shapes the process and style. So it's just the number of minds getting in the mix, basically, what stands out to me over the time.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, but because of how long this process has been going, like even the songs itself, like on the recording to where it is now, we've had time to even sit and formulate and play with it around that. When we do these songs live now, it has been, I don't want to say a drastic change, but we have done some slight shifts or nuances where it's like, ooh, let's try it this way, or let's do it this. So like even the live show now with these songs, like it's going to be different. Not every time, but it's like, we like this a little bit better, but the recording and the live are now just slightly different. And in fact, if you go in and listen to the live session that we just did with Music City Media a few weeks ago, the 3 songs, you can even hear those differences right there.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. I mean, being the newest member, I mean, I've come in and the guys have been, very, receptive to, me and Iago whenever we come in, and we'll learn something and we'll go, well, what do you think about this? And, we'll sit down with Jersey or Wes, and we'll say, well, the tones go like this. How should we, can we embellish this? And, and so I like the process has just been really amazing.
Yeah, because there is a team effort, and as well there is a feeling between all of you. So it's different, of course. And what about always about the previous work? If there is some song which are some of you, each one of you, it's really more like there is affection, or maybe enjoy playing live more. I don't know, that cherish better than the others.
Definitely. Well, I think she was talking about like older stuff that we So if we're talking about older stuff, one of my favorite songs we've ever written to this day, it was one of the ones that started as just an acoustic guitar song in my bedroom, and we turned it into a full big song. But the song Heareth, it was the first song we ever released. It's some of the most personal lyrics I've ever put in a song. That and New Devils, definitely. All of my lyrics come from like a real place, but those lyrics, I was in a really, really rough spot and struggling with a lot and just venting, and that came out, and I still get emotional singing that song. Like we played that song last night and I still got choked up during certain parts of it. It just hits in a different way that a lot of the old songs don't, for me emotionally. But then we have a few other ones that are just so fun. Like Lifeguard is a blast to play. Everybody loves that song. Fight is so much fun to play. They're just high energy, gets the people excited. If people know the words, they're always singing along with us. It's a good time.
I think it's safe to say that as far as even the old stuff, like all the stuff that we still do play live, it's not like, oh, we have to play this song tonight. It's like, all right, we're playing this song. There's not really one where it's like, oh, fine, we have to play Fight tonight, whatever. Like we're able to go in and be like, hey, what songs do we want to play tonight? We've got this amount of time. Let's play this and this and this, and we're all right, cool, let's do it. So I can't really play favorites with all the old stuff. They're all fun to play live. So
and one final comment on sorry, Harry, go ahead.
I was just going to put my 2 cents real quick, and then I'll let you go back. No, I think lyrically speaking, and theme wise, NA hits to the core of me, just the content of that, and playing. We didn't play it last night, but Teeth off the first EP, as a drummer, that song is so fun to play, and it's just rocking and rolling the whole time. And I get
as a vocalist, that one's the one that I'm always out of breath on. But
fun to play.
But the
Yeah.
last point I was going to make to that was one of the things I like about the group of guys that we have and our backgrounds musically is we have a very heavy background when it comes to music. A lot of us were in metal bands before all of this.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to play a metal show, and we have we have enough in our catalog that is like edgy or heavy-ish and aggressive to play a show with bands like that and still get by. But then if we're playing a show with a bunch of like pop punk bands, we can play the slower songs or the sadder songs, and we can adapt to the bill that we're going on is basically what I'm getting at. So sometimes there's nights we're playing with like Two Sides of Me, our friends from Virginia. If we're playing with them, they're metal, and we'll play like all of our hard stuff pretty much from start to finish, and maybe throw in one slow sad song just so I can catch my breath, and then we'll move on from there. But that's what I really like about the band is we've always kind of just done what we enjoyed doing and not really stuck to one thing, but in that it's become and stayed its own thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and of course I heard that you played last night. So first of all, I went. How did it went? How did it go?
I had the time of my life. It was a blast. I don't want to speak for all the other guys. I'm pretty sure all of them had a good time too. I'll let y'all chime in.
Oh yeah, it went very well. We had a good turnout. We had good energy, good feedback. We already chatted earlier about the slight technical difficulties, but I mean that just comes with the territory. But overall, yeah, it was an absolute blast, and I enjoyed myself.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, while we're on the podcast, since there are people listening that weren't at the show, we played the first half of the set. We played 10 songs last night, so we played the first 5 songs, and we started the first song on the new album after saying like, we're gonna start play our new album front to back. Hope you guys enjoy it. Start playing the first song, and my microphone cuts out until like the second chorus. So I'm up there singing. I have my in-ears in, so I'm like, okay, maybe my in-ears aren't working. So I'm like adjusting my pack and my headphones and everything, and I can't figure out what's going on. And then halfway through like the second chorus, my in-ears just come back on full blast, and I hear me coming through the front of the house. I'm like, oh, my mic just cut out. Cool, we're fine. Just keep going.
And to add to the story from a different perspective, because it was a small enough stage, so I had to kind of be back behind everyone. And all of a sudden, I just see like 2 hands of Jersey while he's like on the mic, just all of a sudden trying to fuddle with his headphones and input. And I'm like half playing, like half ready to just like push his hands out of the way and grab it and plug it back in for him. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening?
I was trying to play guitar.
Each other like. What's kind of cutting eyes like, are we okay?
I was trying to play guitar, trying to sing, trying to figure out my in-ear, and making sure like my mic was plugged in. I was trying to troubleshoot and do like 5 different things at the same time.
So it was like a dancing show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, we have all the lights in front of us that are at full glare. So like trying to look over and try and see the sound engineer or into the audience of being like, hey, can someone help us? I couldn't see shit out there. I'm like, well, I'm gonna just keep playing and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
These are the best memories, and of course, now I want to ask about that. If you have some good memories about some live that you did, it something like you said now, like, but of course about really, because sometimes there are in the tour and in the lives the best things that happen.
Yeah, I think personally the coolest thing happening is probably like when we went to Ohio and we played for the first time out in Ohio. I had a bunch of family show up, and there were a bunch of like just kids at the show. And most of the time when you're playing the state for the first time, there's usually not many people out there, but it was one of the bigger shows we had played like in a state for the first time, and everybody was just the energy was just love. Like that's the only way I can explain it. And
are you talking about the Cincinnati show?
Yeah. And because like my family was there were people that knew the words, and there were other people that knew the words too that I had never met before. The other band that we were on the road with had started to learn the words. So we start playing these sad songs or like the songs that mean a lot to me in a state far away that we've never played before, and I hear like 20, 30 kids singing my words back to me as I'm singing it, and it's just that's always the coolest feeling in the world.
So just to add to that one, because that show was really dope. Remember the owner when he came up and
oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Oh dude, he asked us the same thing that you asked us at the beginning of the podcast, was where did we get the name for the band? And we told him the movie Run Home Jack, and he said I knew it, and he pulls up his jacket sleeve, and his whole arm, like hand to shoulder, was sleeved out with the movie Hook. And his most recent one was the scene where the pirates were holding the signs "Run Home Jack." And he said that he saw that we got booked at his bar, and he made it a point to like catch us at load-in to ask if that's where we got the band name. And we nerded out about that for a little bit. You go up to the front of the bar, there's a Hook pinball machine, a bunch of Hook memorabilia like up all across the bar. It was perfect. We were supposed to play there. Like, we have like so many Hook references in the band, and it was the bar for us to be at.
It was good, yeah. And as well for each one of you is the same things like about memories about playing live.
I would have to agree. I did think before this iteration of the band with these 5 members, and yes, we do have a 5th member. He just couldn't make it today, so. We don't. If he hears this, we didn't forget about you, Iago. You're still in the band. But before this iteration of the band, we got to open up for the Spill Canvas here in town, and I thought that was very fun. That's one of our influences, especially Jersey's.
Honestly, I was about to say, I feel bad for not saying that.
Well, it's okay. That was,
that's one of the most important moments of my life.
Right.
Not just the band.
and that helped us gain some momentum prior to COVID, which, that took the wind out of our sails. But I always, remember that show, and that was a really fun show to play. And then, yes, the Ohio thing was super fun and super special. So, yeah.
Even both Ohio shows. So I think to add to this one, during that tour, we had one of our dates canceled as we're leaving for the tour.
That's right.
So trying to, we're only out for a week, and it's like, shit, we gotta figure this out. So we booked a show in Akron, Ohio, last minute. Like, we're literally promoting like 3 days before the show, and I mean, like, we still had about like 20, 30 people to like come out and hang out and buy merch and like do the thing like 3 days out.
Yep. And last minute show still pulled out like a lot more people than I was expecting. Like, it was a really good time.
I would have been impressed if we had like 5 people that had just wandered into the bar and be like, what's that noise going on?
Yeah. Play Freebird.
Yeah, and of course now I want to speak about the influences because it's important, but I want to say more in general, not in general, just go to one of you, which are your main influences, because as well your singular influences made the whole influences as well. So I don't know who want to start first. It's up to you. So which are your influences?
I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna let somebody else go first.
The ghost, Will.
Yeah, Will.
Yeah, well, for me, it's, I come from like a more metalcore prog metal background, but like one of my favorite bands ever, influence-wise, was Scale the Summit. So a lot of influence, very well composed. There's different layers to things. The way that the tones are very complementary, and it just, that has always spoke to me on a songwriting perspective as well. As like, you can listen to something and it doesn't have to be super complex, and it doesn't have to be like, it can sound really pretty, but it can also be heavy. So that's kind of one of my biggest influences when it comes to writing music.
Go next.
I'll go. That really, some bands that shaped my drumming style, I guess you could say. The Chariot was one of my big influences, especially years ago. Every Time I Die rest in
Yeah.
peace. They're my favorite band of all time, I would say. He is legend. They've had a bunch of drummers over the years, but every single one of those drummers, I don't know,
Well,
they're just amazing. And I try to steal their styles in a lot of areas. And I don't know, you can't go wrong with, I guess, if you say the Chariot, you kind of have to say Norma Jean, not necessarily drumming wise, but those would be like my main, over time, consistent influences, even to today.
So for me, coming like Will, I came from a very much like metalcore, like very aggressive background. But as far as like song structure and just writing and like understanding composition, for me, I would say three of my biggest influences were like Killswitch Engage, yeah, just for pure tonality, aggressiveness, and the energy that you see live. Human Abstract, just the way that those songs were composed, like they were so sonically beautiful and just so aggressive all at the same time. And then combining those two ideas together and add some groove, of course, Coheed, just like the absolute like best storytellers when it comes to songwriting, and just like the fluidity of their albums, like really speaks to me.
Yeah, so I'll kind of break it down into different categories. Guitar, I would say, shaped my like playing style 100%. Icon level would be Stevie Ray Vaughan. I grew up listening to that with my dad. Still, like, that man is a superhero. Like, he was not human. There's no way someone could do the stuff that he did. Modern playing style that like has directly like influenced me, the Spill Canvas. You can hear a lot of like the percussive like playing and just the choppy strumming. I learned all of that from teaching myself their songs on acoustic guitar as like a 14-year-old kid. Vocally, definitely Chester from Linkin Park. Linkin Park is and will always be my number one all-time favorite band. But also the Spill Canvas and the Used. I've always felt really comfortable singing those songs, and I've always enjoyed singing along with them. And when it came time to, this is the first band I've ever sang in. Every other band I've been in, it was just screaming, just metal, screaming like a hooligan.
Now you're singing in clean. Yeah.
No, he's singing like a hooligan.
Yeah, exactly. But coming into that, I had to like find my voice basically, and I just started thinking about all the bands I was most comfortable singing when I would feel like singing in the shower or driving in the car, and that kind of helped me find my voice and find my footing, what I wanted to do. And then overall, just like songwriting and just structure to a song influence. I'll give a shout out to him for Iago because he's not here, but Bayside all the way, man. Those guys are just the kings. I've loved them since high school. They have never put out a bad album. Every song hits. Like, it's perfect. And they go all over the place. They have some more aggressive songs. They have some more lighthearted songs and acoustic songs, and all of that comes into play into us. Just, you can tell that at least a few of us have been listening to them for years when you listen to our music. Same with Senses Fail. Absolutely, Senses Fail.
So one of the last question that I'm going to ask you, I said this type of question to the guys before, but I wanted to change a little bit. Okay, so you are, each one of you, it's a planner, an organizer of festivals. So just each one of you can just pick a place or the name of a festival, it's up to you. But the lineup, it's one of you has to choose one single band. So you're four bands.
Okay.
Okay, I changed it a little bit.
Yeah, this is
We're each
cool.
choosing one band, or we're each choosing four bands?
No. Well, so, you can choose just the place and one band. So at the end will be basically four different places and four bands. Yeah.
Well, in the sake of making it more difficult on Wes and making Iago feel included, let's just go ahead and say Iago would choose Coheed.
Oh, yeah.
So take that off the table for Wes, and Iago will definitely lock in Coheed.
Okay.
Yeah, Iago can have Coheed for this one. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow. So like my favorite big huge like festival band is no longer playing music, like Linkin Park.
Okay.
So if I could choose them, I would choose them.
Okay.
If not them, that's a really tough one.
I know. I said it before.
God, come back to me. Y'all go.
All
Y'all
right,
figure it out.
I've
I
got
also want to
one.
know what kind of bill I'm adding it to.
Yeah. So even though we already got Coheed off the table, if I wanted to pick a big festival band, like someone for jam packing a huge place, one that I would love to see live, Muse.
Oh, perfectly.
Yeah.
Will?
One that for me, it's always gonna be Between the Buried and Me. Like
Okay.
always gonna be.
This is an interesting festival so far.
I might attend. We'll see.
I'm coming out of left field, and y'all are probably all gonna hate me with this one, but I got to go with Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
That's good. That's not bad.
Because I don't care who you are, you're not going to tell me that they're not one of the heaviest bands on the planet, minus those vocals. Those guitar tones, and they're so fun to watch. I love them. I loved them in high school. I still love them. And if you hate me for it, I apologize. But that's the band I'm picking.
Apologize. So now just
think-
pick up a place. You can even agree all of you in just one place, because we missed the place and the name.
So, well, I think my decision for the band, because I said to come back, I don't think we circled back. I think it's one of the. I'm gonna go with Manchester Orchestra.
Okay.
They're one of the only bands on my bucket list that I haven't seen yet. The close second would be the Deer Hunter,
Okay.
because I also have not seen them. But venue and name for the festival?
Yeah.
What is the? Is it? I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm so sorry. The Albert Leeds Hall, the one that Architects just did that live
Royal Albert Hall?
concert. Yeah. The Royal Hall. Yeah, whichever it was. That place was beautiful and absolutely insane looking.
Well, I don't know if I can pick the venue or the town, but I definitely think that
Even a town.
Well,
whatever.
the name, my festival name would be the Cannot Confirm Nor Deny Festival.
Will you be attending? I can neither
I cannot
confirm
confirm
nor
Or
deny.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of a place, but I do. So for this festival, everyone would just have to dress up in. And I'll make all the bands have to wear panda suits while doing this, and we would just call the festival Complete Pandemonium.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
And what about you, Will?
I would just love to see him, kind of home roots. See Between the Buried and Me in Raleigh, and like at the Redhead Amphitheater or something. If that's like if festival name, it's a little tough. Probably considering, let's see, they'd probably have something way more artsy than me. But they it'd probably just be something like, I don't know, the Colors Festival.
Okay.
Call it the $3 bill, y'all, part 2.
The $3 bill, y'all.
Oh my.
So just going through the last question, which is the current project. What are you going to do further, like some live, you're recording something?
Yep, we've got a show not yet announced next month in the area in Winston-Salem, and then we have plans early December to go record a new single and kind of do subsequent singles with other people moving forward. But that's the rest of the year's plans: a show and a new single.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're in pre-production mode, so we're tossing back and forth a bunch of new song ideas already. New album just came out, and we're already working on it.
Okay, you're already with the new album.
Yeah. And then we want to kind of just spend a little time recording a single with a few different producers and kind of see who we vibe with the most and who kind of brings the most to the project, and then take the rest of the albums in.
Okay, before the Zoom, always amazing Zoom will cut the interview, just if you say quick hello to all, especially European fan, because there are a quick hello or just a message, and thank to each one of you for this interview, and I will of course let you know when it will be out. Thank you
Yeah.
so much to each one of you.
Yes,
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much.
for
And-
having us.
This was
Yeah.
fun.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys. Listening, watching, liking anything, just being a part of this, like it means a lot. And y'all are why we do this. So thank you guys so much.
Okay, so see you soon then, and I hope to see you in some Europe. Who knows? Maybe in some festival. Could happen
Yeah.
always. Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye guys, and
Thank
bye
you.
goals. Bye goals.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.